Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Tatum Potter, and I am the owner and operator of Healing Breath Wellness in Whitby, Ontario. So I wanted to start off by saying thank you so much to Janet for planning this event today. Really, people who are watching on Facebook have no idea how much time and effort goes into everything in behind the scenes for these events to happen and to go so seamlessly. So thank you to Janet and the other practitioners that have been helping her out today in order to have all of this happen and come together. Today I am not going to be doing card pulls. I will do some card pulls. If you want one, you can message me and I can do it afterwards. But for today, I'm actually going to be talking about consciously co-creating your own life. And I think that this year has been a little bit of a doozy. And when you learn about spiritual connection, manifesting and all that kind of stuff, very often the thinking behind it comes into that the world had to shake you to awaken you. And I'm not exactly sure who said that quote. It kind of comes in quite a bit that when you're not paying attention and you're not on your path, the universe kind of comes in and takes you out at the knees. And I know from experience, it happened to me in 2014. And you kind of get back up, dust yourself off, and then this whole different aspect of yourself opens up. And definitely this year has been a little bit of a wake-up call for a lot of people. It has not been easy. And so as we go into 2021, I want to talk about how you can manifest and bring into your life the things that you're wanting. And I know that Janet has a workshop on the 1st that's going to be doing some of that. And like, I always look at the end of the year for workshops that I can kind of, get into and sit with and really think about what I want in the coming year. And sometimes, like 2020, it is maybe taken off the rails a little bit, but at the same time, you can find things that you're grateful for in those moments. Like, I know that, like I said, 2020 has been hard, but it has given me the time and space to do so many certifications that have kind of been sitting on the back burner that I wanted to take and never had time, or people that I really wanted to reconnect with. But again, between work and all the other stuff that we have to do, running around with kids and everything, didn't have time to do it. And all of a sudden in 2020, I have all of this time. So I have done a lot of certifications over the past year, and I tend to be a bit of a butterfly when it comes to certifications, because it's like, oh, crystals, yeah, I'd like a certification in that. Oh, Reiki, yep, thank you. Moonology, yep, that's happening next week. And so I kind of flitter around and get different certifications all over the place. So maybe I know a lot about a lot, but I'm a master of none, maybe. So I have been on this spiritual journey for a little over 5 years now. And I do have a lot of certifications only because I love learning. If something is kind of comes into my awareness, I honor that and I take it. So I've learned about shamanism. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm a Karuna Reiki master, a Holy Fire Reiki master, like all kinds of different modalities. And so if something kind of presents itself, I grab onto it and do that. But I love learning. So, I just love that. And I think last year at about this time, I had decided that I was really going to dedicate myself to a lot of learnings, and 2020 really made that possible because I have been able to do so many different online certifications that maybe weren't available online this time last year. You could only do them live in Maui or something like that, and that just wasn't going to happen. And so 2020 has opened up this whole virtual world to me that I can sit in my little meditation room and make that happen. And so I wanted to talk about, kind of your year in review. Have you taken the time to look at what you learned over the past year? Maybe some of the lessons were not that fun, but I always think that the spaces that are kind of the most bumpy for me are the spaces where I experience the most growth. So, what have you learned in this last year? What do you want to take with you into 2021? What do you want to leave behind? I'm not taking that BS with me. I'm only bringing this set of stuff. And if you just kind of sit willy-nilly and let things come to you, you're not consciously co-creating your own life. And so when I look at manifesting something, somebody said to me last week, holy cow, like you are a master manifester, like you just decide and it happens that quickly. And that is because I've taken the time and space in order to cultivate that practice. And so what do I do for that practice and manifesting things that quickly? Is that I want to be aware of a lot of things. I want to be aware of my own vibration. I want to be aware of where I'm at. So am I in a low vibration where I'm like, the glass is half empty, nothing is going right? I don't want to manifest in that space. I want to manifest from a high vibration where I'm connected to my higher self, where I'm grounded and I'm feeling safe and secure. And you want to manifest from a high vibration, so you're attracting that like energy to you. Now, there's a lot of things that you can do to help facilitate that. The manifesting. So I know tomorrow Sophie is going to be talking about oils, and so very often I use different kind of oils in my practice when I'm going into a meditation or a manifestation session. I love crystals. I know that there's going to be some crystals on later today. So crystals are another tool that I use. Different crystals have different vibrations, so you can bring those different vibrations in. Last week I did a workshop on candle magic, and so candles are a great thing when you're first starting out meditating and stuff to allow your attention to be centered on the candle. So maybe you're not ready to do a silent meditation where you sit and consciously co-create everything for an hour. Well, you can do a candle meditation where you write your intention on the candle, burn it, and just allow your eyes to gently watch the candle flame. You'll see the ripples in the air that are caught within the flame, and you can just watch it dance. And that is a form of meditation where you bring your attention to one singular item. So there's so many different ways that you can consciously co-create. Now, I'm not an NLP specialist. There might be somebody in the group that is. If you are, kind of put your hand up, because I find that incredibly fascinating. But anybody who does NLP will tell you that words matter. The words that you use when manifesting matter. So you don't want to say, I want $1 million. You want to say something like, I am consciously co-creating $1 million. I am inviting prosperity into my life. I desire prosperity and abundance. So you want to be aware of the words that you're using, because words do matter. And like I said, open yourself up and be clear on the intention that you're setting and what you want to create. And I think one of the really important things in any kind of practice is a daily spiritual practice. So even if that is, say, 30 seconds a day, you want to take the time to dedicate that connection and that space. And people say to me all the time, I just don't have time to do that. I don't have time for daily spiritual practice. Well, you can make your practice whatever you want it to be, as long as you're dedicating that time and space to your spiritual practice. And I love the concept of habit stacking. Like, while I'm doing yoga, I'm also grounding, I'm opening, I'm connecting, I'm getting into my spiritual space. I know one of my clients does it while she drives to work. So that's kind of her only time where she's alone. She can connect to her breathing, she can be consciously aware of where she is, and then set her intention for the day. So if you're super busy, and believe me, I get it. I have 2 teenage sons that are both special needs. I have a husband who likes to think that he is still a teenager and acts like a teenager. I have a full-time job and I run my own business doing the what my husband calls the woohoo stuff. And I love all of it, but I tend to be busy. Some people say to me, when do you have time to sleep? Well, I like to habit stack. So, while I'm at work and maybe it's a little bit quiet, I can be listening to my iPhone and learning about different spiritual practices. So, I got one earbud in and I'm connecting to my spiritual practices. I'm doing other work. So you can habit stack and bring those energies into your life. I think that a daily spiritual practice, and like I said, even if it's 30 minutes of closing your eyes, taking a nice deep breath in, connecting to your higher self, is incredibly important, because the more that you cultivate that practice, the more accessible it is to you. And so when you want to do, a quick connection, it's not like a long lost friend that you have to spend time getting to know again, and you have to spend time to retrain yourself to ground, to open, to connect. It's really quick and easy because you have that daily connection with your spiritual self. And so I think that a daily spiritual practice very much comes into play when you are wanting to manifest or offer healings or connecting to source energy. And so, like I said, you can use a lot of different energies to help facilitate that. And some of my favorites happen to be crystals and oils and daily meditation, yoga. I love, love, love the practice of yoga, because I really think, and that's why I became a yoga teacher, is because I was so drawn to it, is that I realized that yoga provided me with the space for soul and ego to come into harmony and be together as one. Because and many of us that are going to be on this these sessions today, in the Western world, we tend to be go, 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 go. You go to work, you get home, you make dinner, you drive your kids to hockey practice or soccer practice or lacrosse, and you're always go, 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 go. Well, what yoga did is it presented me with the time and space to find some quiet. And really, I started practicing yoga with my mom back in the days when we had to walk down into these creepy little stairs into this little room in a basement, and it was all blue hairs that had kind of lived life and knew where they wanted to be. And when I walked in, it was like the first time I sat down, and my yoga teacher at that time, her name was Marilyn, and she changed my life forever, because she presented me with this space where I could really spend the time and get to know myself. And, I've been doing yoga ever since then. And I don't know if I want to say how long that's been, because that kind of dates me a little bit. But it was before I had my first child, who is 16 years old now, and yoga has gifted me with so much, and I am so grateful for her teachings, because it did create the space that my soul and ego could come together in balance and harmony, rather than just living in the ego space of the go 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 all the time. And so over time, I've kind of, taken these different tools and kept them in my back pocket for when I needed them or when I want to use them. And that's the beauty of a daily spiritual practice, because as you cultivate that, you all of a sudden bring yourself into the space where you have access to more and more and more tools all the time. The more you learn, the more you grow, the more you can tap in. And so the more that you learn about stuff, the more that you can manifest, and manifest quickly, because you just kind of decide something and it happens that fast. And so, like I mentioned before, you want to be aware of your vibration in the spaces that you're doing the manifesting in. But you also want to look at where you want to be, or what you want to be manifesting, and how that's going to look, how it's going to feel, because the universe really deals more with how things feel, the intention that you put behind it, versus sometimes the actual words. So I know I'm kind of playing off myself a little bit here, because I said that words are very important. They are, but so is the intention of it. And so one of the things that I always come into in the morning is I am consciously co-creating my own joyfulness and prosperity. And when I put that energy out into the world, the first thing in the morning, I am putting the intention out there that I'm going to be joyful today. And so sometimes I'll notice things that bring me utter joy. And that's because I've put that intention out into the universe that I want to be joyful. So I'm going to notice the things that bring me joy. If I wake up and I'm totally grumpy and the whole world is driving me crazy, I'm going to notice everything that drives me crazy, because that's the energy that I'm in. And so that's why your vibration is so incredibly important, because you want to kind of move forward with the energy that you want to put out into the world. And so it does become incredibly important, because if you're in the energy of gratitude, or you're in the energy of joyfulness, you're going to notice the things around you that you're grateful for. You're going to notice the things that bring you joy. And that's how and why it's consciously co-creating. You can't just say, oh, I've decided that I want $1 million. Wanted, not a great word to begin with. So if I say, I desire $1 million, okay, so I've put the right words out into the universe, but I can't just sit back and do nothing. There's steps that I need to take in order to properly manifest that $1 million that I'm wanting to consciously co-create. So how am I going to do that? Okay, well, I'm going to do that by seeing a private client every day, a minimum of one. I'm going to do that by running a monthly or weekly workshop where I'm allowing, say, 10 to 20 participants. And so I am putting out into the universe the things that I'm going to do and the actions that I'm going to take in order to manifest that $1 million that's going to soon be in my back pocket. And so it's not enough to just say, I desire $1 million and sit back and wait for it to happen, because that's not how manifesting happens. And so you can start with little things, like last week, maybe the week before, maybe it's longer than that, I don't really know. But I wanted to do a workshop with a couple of my close friends, and a workshop was already happening with the practitioner that I wanted to take it with, and the workshop was full. I had the last spot. And so it was kind of like, oh, I wanted these 3 friends to come with me to experience this workshop with me. So immediately I was like, okay, what do I need to do to make this happen? So I messaged the teacher and I said, hey, listen, I really want to do this workshop with 3 of my girlfriends. If I can coordinate a time with you and them, would you be willing to do it? The numbers that you need, yada, 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 all that kind of stuff. And she was like, oh my word, yes, of course. Well, probably within maybe a half an hour, we had worked out a time, we worked out a day, we worked out a place that we could, distance, keep everybody safe, wearing masks inside, but it also gave us the space to learn what we wanted to learn. And so I went from, I really want to do this. How am I going to make this happen? To it being all said and done and planned and everything within a half an hour. And that's how easily you can manifest. If I thought I really, 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 really desire to do this workshop with these women that are so important in my life, and then I sat back and did nothing, well, the universe wasn't going to present me with that, because that's not how these things work. And so you want to be aware of what you want to manifest. Put it out there to the universe that that's what you want to manifest, and then make it happen. So take the steps. Get the people involved that can help you to manifest this. And so, or even just taking the small little actions. So I have another story that was, probably close to 2 years ago. Same type of thing. I really wanted to do my Karuna certification with this teacher up in Peterborough, and it was just financially not going to happen for me. And I kept on avoiding it and avoiding it and avoiding it, because I didn't want to tell her that I couldn't do it, because I really wanted to do it. But I also didn't want to talk to my husband about it, because I knew that it was too much at that time. And so finally I was like, okay, I need to make this happen. How can I make this happen? And I reached out to the teacher and I said to her, listen, like, financially, I just can't commit to this right now. I really do want to do this certification with you at some point, but perhaps right now is not the time. And she came back to me and she said, oh no, now is the time. Let's figure this out. And of course I was a little bit crushed, because I was like, oh, I don't know what I can do. And she said to me, she presented to me with a viable option. And she said to me, how about you do some distance healing on some of my clients, give me some feedback on it and all this kind of stuff. And we worked out a plan where there was a trade and barter in place. And I love trade and barters for manifesting things that you want, or, well, I keep saying want, but what you desire. Want is a really bad word when it comes to manifesting. So I was able to do the certification that I really, really wanted to do, but also within a budget that worked for myself and my husband and everybody else involved. And so it's such a beautiful thing when you put that energy out to the universe and you know that you're divinely supported in your endeavors. Because when you put that energy out there, things just kind of fall into place and they become what you are wanting them to become. So I'm getting towards the end of my my time slot here. And so I want to be aware that I'm not going over into somebody else's spot. So if you have questions for me with regards to manifesting or setting intentions for the year to come, I also think that it is really important for you to do a check-in. So if you are manifesting for this coming year, you want to do a check-in and make sure that that you're doing the stuff that you set out to do. So, a few times a year, do a check-in and see how you're doing, where you're at. There's some really great journals that you can do with prompts and everything now that, there's so much out there. When I first started yoga, like I said, I did it in the basement of this creepy old building, and it was this little tiny space. Now you can walk out and see these beautiful yoga studios all over the place. People are really opening up to the spiritual world, and science is helping us by proving these things. 20 years ago, that wasn't the case. And now science is proving more and more and more that the things that a lot of us practitioners have been saying for years, that people can be healed through Reiki, people can be healed through energy healing. Science may have set out to kind of disprove that, and all they've done is prove exactly what we've been saying. And so remember to take the time and be aware of what you want to create, and learn from the lessons that you want to leave behind. Let those things go. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes. If you have any questions about manifesting, how you do that into 2021, maybe some practices that you can do in terms of, journaling what you want to leave behind, looking towards the energies that you want to move towards in 2021. And doing check-ins of how you're doing throughout the year. If you want any suggestions in that, throw a comment in below the video, and I will do my best to respond to them over the next couple days. You can always message me personally, anything that you might want to, or that you're curious about. Tools, anything like that, places to go. Sophie is a fantastic yoga teacher. She's got so many great practitioners in her studio space. Janet has a workshop coming up. I don't know about the other practitioners on, so I apologize for that. But if they have something, put it in the comments. And the more that we support each other, the more and the better we all are in the long run. And so if you have any questions, let me know. I will do my best to answer them. And right now, we're just going to take a minute to kind of connect with our breath, and to maybe take a moment to center ourselves and see what we want to co-create for this coming year. So find a nice, comfortable position, either sitting or laying down. Begin to breathe slowly in and out. And when you're ready, allow the eyes to gently close. Simply noticing as the breath moves slowly in and out of the body. Gently breathing in and gently breathing out. Allowing the space to allow the mind to quiet, and your attention to turn inward, becoming one with the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual being that is you. Slowly inhaling, breathing all the way in, holding it for a beat, and then slowly exhaling completely. Allowing the breath and the body to become centered. And when you find your sweet spot within your meditation, perhaps bringing one hand over the other at heart center, drawing your attention into the heart space. Allowing the breathing rhythm to just become natural. And then taking a moment to connect and invite your higher self into your meditation. Perhaps allowing it to present to you whatever it is that would be in your highest good to manifest this year. Perhaps you want to consciously co-create prosperity and abundance. Maybe you want to manifest limitless joy, or even better. Just taking a moment here to allow the breath to guide you. Allowing whatever it is that you want to manifest coming into 2020 to present itself to you. Knowing that whatever that might be, you are divinely supported. You are aligned with the universe, effortlessly flowing and moving with its ebb and flows. Recognizing the illuminations that present themselves to you, and honoring the inner knowing when you're guided, perhaps to different teachers, perhaps to different practices. Allowing yourself to be guided by that intuitive knowing, to be guided by your higher self. Allowing gratitude to fill every cell and molecule within your being so that you can vibrate at your highest frequency of love and abundance. Allowing you to walk joyfully along your path, knowing that you are divinely guided on this journey. Continuing on with your meditation for as long as you feel called to do so. And once you're ready to fully come back to this time and space, allowing the eyes to gently open, and perhaps taking some time with your journal to write down anything that might have been presented to you during your meditation. Allow the soul to guide your reading, to guide your writing. And what are you going to manifest for this coming year? What vibration do you want to lead you? Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions or ideas, anything that you'd like to share, I'd be honored in hearing from you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.